Hey Monty, mute your mic.
All right. This is Play Your Part Podcast, episode 11, part 2. This is your host, B.
Oh, they call me the Black Neville Longbottom.
And this is Ricky Monty.
Tanya. I'm sorry. And I'm Tanya.
All right. So we're going to go do a new section brought to you by Kevin himself.
You muted.
Oh, I felt like I should bring something to the party, so this is what I'm bringing. It's a little gossip section. Monty, you mute your mic for me. And so I have a couple of these stories. The first one from Ayanna, I went to the shade room and I was just looking up stuff. So it says Walmart to remove its Juneteenth ice cream after facing backlash on social media.
Honestly, I can see both sides to it, where people felt offended because it's kind of like Walmart is a corporation that likes to kind of bite off of stuff.
Yeah, they don't care for real.
So they don't really care. But then I saw a lot of people comment on like, why is it that they're using a Great Value brand? Like, why not it be Ben and Jerry's? And I'm like, y'all do realize that Great Value is their brand, like a Ben and Jerry's. That's why they put the flavor in the Great Value. So yeah, I just think whoever came into the board meeting that week and was like, well, let's do a Juneteenth ice cream flavor, they was tripping. And they had spent a little bit too much time with their Black friends, and they tried it, and it just didn't work.
Have y'all seen the rest of the Juneteenth branded stuff this week? I remember I saw a cozy. It said, "It's the freedom for me," and I said, "This is ridiculous."
It is. It is. Like, why can't you just let us celebrate June 19th? Just that. Just why are we trying to profit off of this? I think that's the thing. Like,
I already said
you're trying to profit off of.
You're gonna profit off everything. You it don't matter what it is. You already see how they do Halloween in there for 5 seconds, and then they already got the Christmas stuff up. It's all about what sells. They think that this is a can go ahead and capitalize of it, but this is one of those I call it one of the moments where you be careful about what you say, because whatever you say is going to blow back on you, and you don't care anyway, because if you could put a what do they call it one of those big lip, red lip, coon ice cream on there, and it'd have been fine with that if they could get away with it for a brief time. But it's sad, like, because you've been doing it. It's like sad, and it's like we can go even not even Walmart. We can go Disney. Y'all got nothing but a whole archive of racist and the tones. You know what I'm saying? Using
Princess of the Frog.
Yeah. So it's all those things that people have been doing. These racial undertones. It's okay because kids are watching Disney. We don't care about them talking those crows talking like slaves. You know what I'm saying? So like you know, I don't feel like that they're not sorry. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. That's what I really just think about that topic. So
I said we gotta accept. I mean, we gotta be happy about the fact that now we can voice our opinion, and it's actually getting moved or like not allowed anymore.
Yeah, I just feel like they did the most with that. Like, really, really.
All right, I'm gonna move on to the second one. Is Candy Burris says that Escape will beat Destiny Childs in the battle of hits.
Stop it. She tried it. She tried it.
No way, right? No way.
Tried it.
Tried it. Ooh.
No,
Ooh,
no, 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 no.
You know, that's, I mean, you said that. That's one of Escape songs.
No.
No.
I just really
Don't
feel
get me
like
wrong.
people can't compare themselves to Beyonce. Like, that's,
I'm sorry.
like, just don't. And not even, like, idolizing her, making her be like, oh, she is like a god or anything, but it's just like, bro.
I said
like,
Escape had 4 people in their group. Destiny Child had 3, and 2 of them went on to have very strong solo careers.
True.
Mm-hmm.
True. And I just don't think that's no.
And also, the name of your group sounds just like what happened to the group.
That's messed up, man. You have to come and Escape like that.
I mean, I'm not going to discredit Candy. Candy she's a boss.
Yeah,
like, I admire her.
Straight.
She would make $1. She would make $1 out of anything.
I love Escape. There is no way that they could go against Destiny Child.
But Destiny's Child is iconic. They're cultural. I mean, like you have like the last 3 members were successful in their own realms, like Kelly and Beyonce with pop and R&B, and Michelle with Christian gospel music. So like I have not seen a successful member of Escape go on solely. Like, I'm sorry, she just needs to just stick to writing their hits, not trying to go hit for hit.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, that was one of the things I was like, y'all want to do a versus battle with Beyonce? I was like,
but you're talking, but you're self, and then you know how that versus is you can use anything that you wrote as your hit, and that's what you think that's the reason why you feel like you can do that. But then we're not talking about Candy Burris versus. That's what you would be saying, because Candy, you know who wrote that, Escape didn't write none of them songs. So like we doing the wrong verses. So like you would be doing clearly off what Escape could do and what they were. Not about, my name's Candy and I'm part of Escape, so I'm going to bring my entourage of things that I've written. You can't do that. That's not part of the rules. Part of the rules is your group. Destiny Child has more multi-platinum hits and also albums that's going to drown. You know, if you want to do Candy versus Beyonce, you still you can try it or whatever. It'd be like it was like when LeBron tried to go play the Spurs and you got your doors blown out. It was a nice try, but we knew you were going to get beat. But it's okay though. You went to the finals.
For sure. I just thought it was fun.
It's a safe competition. Just to be honest, like that's just not.
Oh no! If Destiny Child and Escape went head to head like that, Beyonce wouldn't even show up.
No, Beyonce ain't doing no doggone. Come on, dude.
That's how out of the water it would have been. She was like, "Let Kelly meet them over there."
Exactly. She would send her proteges. Like she would put them on their shit. Y'all do this for me. Like she not
for sure. For
but
sure.
What you doing? Hey, what you doing today? I got some lightweights to handle. I ain't got time for that. I gotta raise my kids. I'll pop in. I'll pop in from time to time when I feel like.
All right, so all right, so I got Caitlyn Jenner says Everybody thinks they're trans because it's so highly publicized in the media.
I've had it.
I don't.
I didn't really use it.
I said it was one or two ways that you can take this, and hopefully y'all took it the wrong way.
I just don't feel like why is don't take it the wrong way when I say this, but I don't really think that that's something that people aspire to be. Like, I don't feel like people don't, that's not their life dream. Like, if people are transgender and they feel like, okay, I'm a man stuck in a woman's body or vice versa, I don't think that they aspired to feel that way. So I don't get why you would even say everybody wants to be trans. Like, no, no, no. I think people are manipulating it. Definitely, I think
Yeah,
that
for
people
sure.
are definitely utilizing the platform that the that community has, and I mean, people are definitely manipulating that. Like, we have men pretending like they are trans, going in women bathrooms and raping women. So I just feel like if you want to say that people are manipulating it, most definitely they are most definitely manipulating that, and using it to whatever their sick fantasy is. But I don't think people wake up and aspire to be transgender. Like, I don't think that's a thing. That's just
Uh,
my
my about it is feel the ones and fuzzies. Hey man, if you want to be what you want to be, do that. But I feel like a rule of thumb should be able to solve this problem. If it angle, you should go where it swings and dangle. If you doesn't have a go to the bathroom where it doesn't swing and dangle. Surgery or no surgery. It's just only fair because it's only a comfort level. Like, you got to understand, if you're going to introduce something, it can't be come with force. It has to come with ease. I'm not saying I agree with it or don't agree with it, but it's just, you got to have if you want to transition, it's got to be for everybody. It can't just be like, well, we think we should go in here and this. Well, no, like, some facilities are already built to where there's not a third bathroom for a reason. Because if I'm a guy and I have an infant, maybe I don't want to be in a bathroom full of dudes and changing my kid. It's a family room. That's what it's used for. But like I said before, like, I don't think it's like it's a trend, and you think it's a trend, but you weren't the first person to come out, Caitlyn, to say that you was a transgender. So don't make it seem like
you were
don't
just
like
richer than everybody else.
yeah, you don't be anything else, like gay, lesbian, or anything else. There's people that was like that's pioneered it. That was way before your time that it was even going through this whole situation. So, like I always say, give credit where credit is due. Don't try to take something where you try to use your already fame that you already famed for it, and then you're trying to make it a trend. That's what you did. Talking about that, we're talking about what people go everyday people. We can't celebrity situation where you can isolate yourself and have security and all kind of other stuff. Other people don't have that comfort. People got to deal with a day-to-day basis, school or wherever they have to deal with. So, like, really, you're not like Caitlyn, you're not speaking for the general public. You're only speaking from Hollywood side. On Kardashians, and then you made your own little thing, which you all had. That's what I think, as far as for that.
My thing was that Caitlyn Jenner was the spokesperson for trans people years ago, and now she's like, oh, it's the media that's giving all these people the voice. I was like, but you were the spokesperson. Did you not win Woman of the Year in your first year being a woman? I just thought that was crazy.
I think that's crazy. Like, I have no issues with trans, gay, lesbian preference. My whole thing is for you to, like you said, kind of impose you know, that's just like me as if I'm straight. I can't impose how I feel on other people. So like I get what Brandon's saying when he says about the bathroom thing. I personally feel like there should be 3 bathrooms. I feel like it should be male, women, and then gender neutral or whatever the case may be. Because I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that I would feel comfortable if a man who is transgender, which I have no problem with, but if you have a penis and I'm taking my daughters to the girls' restroom, you know what I'm saying? And it's like I don't have a problem with your lifestyle or anything of that nature, but
I got my kids in here.
yes. And
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? And everybody's entitled to raise their children the way they want to raise their children. And it's just like I wouldn't feel comfortable going in the bathroom with a trans woman who still has male body parts. And that's just, my personal opinion on the situation. Do I feel like a transgender male should have to go up in a male restroom because he may feel uncomfortable, or I'm sorry, she may feel uncomfortable. I identify as a woman, so I might feel uncomfortable using the restroom amongst males. So I just
Mhm.
feel like if we're gonna be politically correct, then
Right.
make a neutral gender restroom. You know what I'm saying? Make that a stipulation so no one has to feel, unsafe or offended or anything.
Mhm.
Because that's just, come on, dude. That's too much, and people are manipulating that. You have men. I'm talking about. We have in the news where men are pretending to be transgender, going in women restrooms and raping women. So
I haven't heard.
I've
I
heard some stories.
I'll bring up an article that Virginia Tech football player that just got acquitted of that murder charge because he was on a dating website and he met a transgender that he didn't know was a transgender. They were posing as a woman, and then they met, and that transgender performed oral sex on him, and then the lights came on, and then that's when you realize that that was a man, and he beat the shit out of him. Like, once he realized like this is a whole dude, and I thought it was a woman, when in reality it was a dude that identified as a woman type of deal. And he wasn't upfront about it when they started talking. And he beat him.
And that's another thing
Yeah,
that I really
he got
believe in.
got to put up his charges though. But you got people that are on either side. You got the people that are on the side of like transgender rights, but then you got people like me that are like, it's okay for you to be transgender, but you need to be upfront with people
Facts.
when you're in relations like that, dating, um, just situations where it's gonna be a thing, because that's the part that can happen if you decide that you want to lie or not be truthful about who you are. You could be killed. You could be beaten into your life. Like that, and that's the part that bothers me. Like, and that's just one case that's been national. Like, think about all the other cases that haven't gotten that much exposure. They're out there. You just haven't heard them.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like they're not getting as much exposure because of the political side of it. People don't
Mhm.
want to address this issue. They don't want to talk about this issue. This issue will bring up the fact that we're gonna have to start making extra bathrooms, and we're gonna have to start spending extra money, and we're gonna have to start passing laws and rules and regulations and things of that nature. And these people don't want to
For
deal
sure,
with it.
for sure.
Mm-mm.
But I do feel like if that's your lifestyle, nobody can judge you for the lifestyle you want to live. Period. You live how you want to live as long as it's not affecting others negatively or opposing on others. But at the end of the day, when you are when you're going doing something intimate like that, especially intercourse, that's like you not disclosing you have a STD.
I just want to say that, or
Basically,
HIV. Yeah, pretty
you
much.
know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You got this STD, and then
Mm-hmm.
we go have sexual intercourse, and then I find out you have an STD. Like,
Mm-hmm.
people need to put it in that perspective, because for the straight people who feel like he was right, or for the gay people who feel like he was wrong. Put it in a perspective is, even as a gay person, if you were to go out here and have sex with somebody and they had an STD and they didn't disclose to you that they had an STD, and now you're stuck with something, a disease for the rest of your life because that person wasn't upfront with you about what they had going on. That's not right. Like when you're being intimate with somebody, especially sexually, it's certain things that you should disclose. Period.
Mm-hmm.
And that's definitely one of them.
Can I say we have gone a little too far away from the topic?
This topic brought up a lot of other
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I have one more gossip thing to talk about, and then we go into the transparency of it all. So this one isn't as entertaining, but I just thought it was weird. It says Ritz Crackers and Oreos team up for a new limited edition cookie / cracker snack.
Why? Did they say why?
They didn't say, which is why I brought it up, because I was like, I don't know what y'all gonna do.
I mean, when you say that, the first thing that comes to mind is like something racially motivated. Like you got an Oreo. Like I don't know,
because Ritz Crackers already has peanut butter, which is delicious. Oreos are Oreos. I really don't know what they're gonna make together.
Like
that's mind blowing.
Yeah,
that's mind blowing.
Is this like a Juneteenth thing? Is this like some kind of racially equality? Like
I hope not, because I don't want to stop eating Oreos for
why
some reason.
Can't they just leave Juneteenth alone? Like why can't? Why
it's been a day for hundreds of years. Like you just leave it alone.
Extra, like yes, with the cookies and the Oreos and the crackers, and can we just celebrate? Can black people just have that day?
Just for black. That's why I say it. If a white person tells me Happy Juneteenth, I'm gonna punch him in the face.
Yeah, I am. I'm not even kidding. Facts.
Like that's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
I really don't.
Well, not even pagan because it's religious, but you know what I'm saying. Y'all just trying to make it so commercial, bro. Like just leave it alone.
And it's not supposed to be that. It's the end of slavery.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be.
Y'all trying to profit off of it. And if y'all gonna put off of it, where is our what's the word? Our what they paid the people who suffered from the
reparations.
That. Where is it?
Yeah.
Where is it? If we're gonna profit,
you're not getting that. You can't even get your. You can't. No, stop. Because you're not even getting money for your student forgiveness.
I say leave it to be to be like you're not getting that reparations.
You're not getting that because you're not even getting your damn.
Where's our reparations?
I'm not touching that. I'm not touching that. If we're gonna
profit off of this.
They're profiting off of Juneteenth. Reparations should be right around the corner.
No, you're not getting that. Uncle Joe won't even give you student forgiveness or give your student loan. He giving $10 billion to Ukraine. That's where your money gone.
Oh, don't call me. I'm not answering. I said I ain't.
No, $10 billion. You can give me half of that, and you could have given everybody reparations before that $5 billion.
Thanks.
$1 billion to war.
I ain't got nothing to do with them people.
I don't know. We broke. I don't know if y'all watch Atlanta. I don't know if y'all watch Atlanta, but they actually had an episode where they gave reparations to black people. It was a pretty good show.
Yeah, I seen that one. Yeah, it was Atlanta. Everybody go out and watch that.
Watch that episode. I haven't seen it. And I'm caught up on Atlanta.
All right, so we still on this episode? I mean, still on this topic?
No, I'm done. That was the last one because I was like, that just doesn't make any sense. Ritz Crackers and Oreos? What are y'all gonna do? I don't know.
All right, so All right, so we're gonna go ahead and transition to another. We got another sponsor. Last week's it was original Walker's Barbershop. Today is AJ Creations. Um, all right, so by the way, letting everybody know, Father's Day and Juneteenth's coming around the corner, guys. And if you're thinking about something and want to get somebody something nice, AJ's Creation, she creates baskets, gift baskets, like condolence baskets. This is like she does this like for like Father's Day bucket. She does like stuff like this for Father's Day, like birthday baskets, and like stuff like another thing for Father's Day. So uh, I'll put the link in the episode. I'll put the link in the Facebook episode. But once again, this is who was sponsoring this episode today. So
That's anywhere around the United States.
yeah, just shipping. Yeah, she'll ship it wherever. Her information is on this page, and also too. Let me see. What did I do with it? Yeah, it's on this page. I'll keep the page up and post it in the actual Facebook page on this episode. So AJ's Creations. You can look it up on Facebook. It's under AJ's Creations. You can be able to make your orders. I think the deadline for Father's Day is after the first week of June, or whatever. And then she's doing also Juneteenth wreaths and baskets too. So, all right.
For sure. I gotta send my father something.
Yeah, so don't forget somebody for Father's Day. If you don't forget, you send stuff for Mother's Day, send stuff for Father's Day. If that person's in your life, I guess, whatever. But yep, that's the Facebook page who's sponsoring us this episode. So
I like that dope black. Did it say dope black man or what did it say?
I want to say this is the same person that made my Mother's Day gift.
Yes,
Dope black dad.
Oh, dope black dad. Okay, I like that.
So it's
Yeah, I might check that out.
Okay.
Let's get to it.
All right, we're gonna start with the first topic, and the first topic is Ayanna's topic. We need to prioritize mental health care. This is the last week of couple of days of Mental Health Awareness Month.
For sure.
So before we start, I don't like to not practice what I preach on this podcast. And so after today's episode, I'm going to take a break. I need to take a mental pause and try to transition me and my kids mentally into our next phase of life. And so I just need to take a break from just extra stuff. Not like the podcast is like draining or anything like that. I just need to refocus on some stuff for a minute. And then, when everything's settled and I get settled into that space, then I'll be able to come back. So it's not gonna be too long. I just need to mentally get myself together. So I wanted to close out Mental Health Awareness Month with an article that I found on New Jersey Times. It was basically just kind of summing up health awareness and just letting people know why it needs to be important, why mental health should be a thing, and why it's not necessarily a thing. And so they have 5 points as to why mental health isn't as important as it should be or has been in the past. I want to give y'all a couple of numbers first. Before the pandemic happened, mental health affected 1 in 10 adults. Now, with the pandemic passing and with new mental health issues coming into light, it's 6 out of 10 adults have a mental health disorder, some type of mental health disorder. And I feel like even though the pandemic was it was bad, it did bring some things forefront that I feel like have transitioned healthcare where it's making mental health more important. But there's still those little gaps that are still there. There's like I can think off the top of my head 8 major insurance plans, and these are like insurance plans that people get from their employers or just major insurance plans in general. And a lot of those high price insurance plans, they don't cover mental health at all. And when I say they don't cover the providers, they don't cover the medication, they don't have therapy or counseling as a medical necessity. They don't have the providers that are specialized for mental health are considered specialists, and some insurance plans don't cover specialists, or they might be out of network. Um, and then also, there is a provider shortage. So if you realize that before the pandemic, it was 1 out of 10 adults that had a mental health issue, and now it's switched to like over half of those people, then you have to realize that providers' patients numbers have gone up. And I just noticed just from my own therapist telling me like, hey, I like have double books. I probably started 2 years ago with maybe 25 patients. She's up to 110 patients that she sees on a rotation every month. So that's a lot of patients for like one person. And I don't think there's anybody out here that's kind of jumping or jumping ship to want to become a psychiatrist, a therapist, or anything like that. And then also, like I said before, with most insurances, some of the medications, and this is just from a pharmacy's perspective, some of the medications that deal with mental health, like the bipolar medicines, schizophrenia, depression, manic depression, those medications, they're not covered. They're what you consider non-formulary. So then you have patients that don't have that adequate medicine that they need to treat their mental illness because their insurance won't pay for it. And those medicines are expensive, and it's already a problem for them to even receive the care to get prescribed that medication. So you just close door, close door. And then also, of course, there's discrimination. Most mental health does occur in what we consider rural areas, not a lot of and the rural areas are those areas that don't have the access to healthcare anyway. And then they definitely don't have access to, things that like people that live, say, in suburbia would have access to: the best doctors, the best hospitals, the best choices with providers, not having to travel across the state to get to see a good provider. And then of course there's discrimination. Don't like to bring race or anything into anything. It is a thing. Most mental health, if you have it as if discrimination is a factor, it's usually is it being either the patient doesn't want the help or that the doctor or provider is biased. And I think I've talked about this before, how there are providers out there that are gender biased or they're racially biased when it comes to providing patients with adequate health care or adequate care for their even just their general health. So you can imagine how discriminative that would be with mental health. So I just wanted to just close mental health month with just saying that it's a slow gain through COVID of people being aware that mental health is an issue. And, there are little bits that are coming into place to make sure that people have adequate care. There's more community-based facilities now. So that means like more people that don't have healthcare can go in and see somebody for free. More insurances are opening up their formulary for drugs, more coverage for specialists, and their networks are getting more broader where they're including therapy services that 2 or 3 years ago they probably would have laughed at if you tried to put a request in. So it's a slow progress, but I'm glad it's a progress just in general.
Definitely. I feel like even the workplace has become more aware of mental health. I think that they're not as um I think they're being more compassionate or more considerate, should I say, of people's mental health as far as working goes. And I think that's a good thing. I think that's a very positive thing that COVID brought on is the workplace being more mental health friendly than ever before because it wasn't as friendly before pre-COVID. It wasn't.
I want to say thanks, Jana, for being here for I want to say 9 out of the 11 weeks that we've been doing this. I mean, you're going on your hiatus, but we will gladly have you back whenever you're ready.
Okay. I appreciate
Also,
that.
What's up?
all right. Also, on your topic, I said 2020 really got a lot of people. Like, I mean, people who didn't think they needed therapy, but they were like, "Yo, something's wrong," and you lost a lot of marriages and just people in relationships. You lost a lot of them in the year of 2020. It was like now you got to deal with that person every day. Uh, but yeah, that's what I had, and also I said just that time alone that you would spend with somebody, yeah, or you would spend on your own. Definitely, you gotta go talk to somebody at that point. And that's why I said 2020 really got some people out there.
True. I totally agree. I don't know. It's just I feel like 2020 was just like the year of just like awakening for the country. A lot of stuff happened where you know
We all
just
got
realized
addicted to Tiger King for some reason.
that, and I guess it was awakening just like economy wise, where people finally realized like, dang, like the world really can't stop, and people really can go broke. Like people, like things that you like don't you think can happen, it like actually became a reality in 2020. And it just
Yeah,
was like,
some stuff you didn't expect to happen, but you was like, oh,
yeah,
this is real out here.
yeah, like what the hell? Like it was like a twilight moment, like a twilight moment. But like
That
you
Right.
we
said, like,
all dealt
yeah.
with together.
And I think it was just kind of like a, if you made it out of 2020 and you still here, like, congratulations, seriously. Like, not even kidding.
I thought people had something to say out there.
No, you already said. I mean, it is 2020 is pretty much what it was. But also, we can't think of it. We can't think of 2020 being negative, all negative. It's kind of like it's an awakening, as I say. It's there's always needs to be, call it the Thanos snap, needs to happen sometimes to really appreciate things that you actually have, what's going on, and kind of like that snap of the finger paused everything in 2020. It's like the blurb. You know, back from the blurb is understanding what happened and how you move forward into the future. You know what I'm saying? And it's more of giving you the moment of clarity. So that's like more like, you go through your things, but it's almost like waking up from those things. You know what I'm saying? And then like not realizing these things were going on. And I think this is like a good segue into Tanya's
I
topic
was
now.
just thinking that. I was just
Yep.
thinking that.
Yeah, that's I try,
So
but
yeah, you did that. You played that well.
you know.
So basically, this is a good segue into my topic. Brandon, do you want to give my topic?
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and think. All right, the next topic would be for Tanya, and the topic is recovering from a nervous breakdown. That's the kind of the segue I wanted to kind of go into, and that's Tanya's topic.
Yes. So speaking of 2020, when COVID hit, that's when I had a mental turn. Basically, I had a nervous breakdown, and I didn't really see it coming. So one of the first things I wanted to do was to go over signs of a nervous breakdown, which basically first I wanted to I found an article on WebMD, and it's entitled Signs of Nervous Breakdown, and it was medically reviewed by Dan Brennan, who is a medical doctor. And basically it says, what is a nervous breakdown? A nervous mental breakdown is a term that describes a period of extreme mental or emotional stress. This stress is so great that the person is unable to perform normal day-to-day activities. The term nervous breakdown isn't a clinical one, nor is it a mental health disorder. In the past, it was used to describe many different mental health conditions, but it's no longer used by professionals today. Even so, this doesn't mean that a nervous breakdown is a healthy response to stress. In fact, it's quite the opposite. And it can sometimes indicate an underlying problem such as depression and anxiety, which basically is a nervous breakdown, kind of is a mental health condition. All your mental health conditions are one of your mental health conditions basically getting so out of control that it causes you to have a nervous breakdown slash mental breakdown. It kind of just overloads your brain, basically. So there is no one cause of a nervous breakdown. Anything that leads to excessive stress can trigger it. In general, feeling stressed and being unable to cope with it may lead to feeling so overwhelmed that you can't perform your normal daily functions. Some things that might trigger a nervous breakdown include a sudden tragedy, a major life change, constant stress, anxiety, depression, poor sleep, abuse, financial problems. Signs of a nervous breakdown. Um, Anxious or depressive feelings and actions are common in response to stress. This includes low self esteem, fearfulness, irritability, worrying, feeling helpless, getting angry easily, withdrawing from family and friends, losing interest in your favorite activities, difficulty breathing, uncontrollable crying, thoughts of self harm or suicide, trouble concentrating, extreme fatigue, changes in appetite, digestive issues, hallucinations. Um, so some of the lifestyle changes that you should make in order to recover from, well, it's really no recovery. Once you have get into the capacity of you're having a mental
What happened to her?
Yeah, I think we lost her for a second.
We'll give her a second.
I'm
Oh, that's
sorry,
it.
go out.
Yeah, you went
Yeah,
out.
you're good
Oh
or
no,
not.
she's gonna get. Man, it's that internet at her house.
Yeah, I said we lost her back to back.
I mean,
Okay,
she
I'm
was on
sorry.
the
Can
road.
y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, y'all might not be able to hear me, but y'all can hear me. Sorry. So basically, there is no at the mental breakdown, and you basically have lost control. I know for me, it was like I can't explain it. it's not something that you can really explain. It's not something that you can really put. It's kind of like labor. Like you don't know how to explain it until it's happening. And it's different for everybody. So feel my body. Um, I could feel it in my nerves. You know, like I could feel it in my brain. I could feel just being completely gone. You know, like mentally. Like I really can't explain it, and it's a horrible feeling. And I would wish that on my worst enemy. So at the end of the day, some of the things that you have to take into consideration when to prevent that. Like you can see, I didn't really know what the signs were that I needed to look for. But before I completely had my nervous breakdown, I did have lifestyle changes like interest, no, not interest in doing things. And I started
and I wasn't sleeping and I wasn't eating and I wasn't, all the things that they described on signs and symptoms of mental breakdown and nervous breakdown. I was experiencing all those things.
but at the time I didn't know what I was experiencing or
Can I ask you a question? Is how close is a nervous breakdown to just depression?
Hey,
I
Tanya.
can't. Yeah.
Hey, Tanya. Try to use your. Hey, Tanya.
It's completely different because when you're depressed, I feel.
Is it your Wi-Fi? I think your Wi-Fi.
huh?
Body.
Oh, she gone. Is she gonna answer? Because I can't answer Kevin's question.
No, it's all good. I said I said some of the points that you were making about anxiety and everything.
Can y'all hear me?
Were
Yeah, we can hear you now.
signs of depression as well. So I was just wondering.
Well, dang, she went out again. I was gonna say just like from a clinical aspect, like of me, working with doctors and stuff, depression is a symptom of having a nervous breakdown.
Sorry.
So like, but depression can be a clinical condition. But in her case, with her talking about a mental breakdown, it's a sign. It's like one of those like gateway mental health things. Like this depression, anxiety, restlessness, activity. This can lead to this major.
Yes, because basically what it is it like your depression getting out of control. Like Yana said, it's like a gateway. Like if I'm depressed and me having a mental breakdown is the response to me not controlling, that symptom. So it was just a lot of different things and stress and a buildup of unhealed trauma, undealt with trauma, um, undealt with depression. And a lot of it's really like people say my whole thing was I worked, you know, like anything I was going through, whether I was depressed, sad, hurt, whatever, I'm like, I'm going to work. I'm going to work. Don't care, going to work, going to get a bag. Didn't care, didn't deal with it. Literally just put it to the side and just went to work. And that was my trauma response
Which
to
is
it.
a lot about especially in Black culture. Like we don't have time to take that month off to get our mind right.
Right. And it was a trauma response. And at the time, I'm working so much, I'm not even realizing I'm not even taking care of my mental health. I'm like, I don't care. I'm getting a bag.
And
I don't care.
I'm bleeding, baby. I'm bleeding. That's what they say.
Yeah. And it's kind of like when you are so, because it's not a bad thing for you to be motivated or you to be professionally involved. But when it's to the point where you're so invested in working and you're so invested in getting a bag.
Yeah, she broke up again, but I'm pretty sure I knew where she was going. Like when you're invested in getting the bag, getting the money, you're not worried about how you're doing emotionally and mentally, and Yeah, I mean, I've been victim to it as well. Like, I'm going to work, and I'm still making this, but I'm not okay.
Yeah, yeah, like showing up to work, going through it, like just one thing at work might actually set you off, but as long as you're at work, doing what it's kind of like a outlet. Like you can't control your mental health in the aspect of personally whatever was going on, but at work, you know what your job is to do, you know how to do it efficiently, you know how to get the task done, and then go home. So that's kind of why people do that. What she said, they feel that that anxiety and that depression in the work. Because I mean, you can't mess up at
Yeah,
work. Like you're getting paid for
it's
it.
easy to forget your problems when you're going on what is the word, menial task and stuff, and you're just like
Mhm.
at work. But at the end of the day, I was like, no, you're not all right. Like we you need to take a second for this.
Yeah.
My
So
yeah,
like
my
her,
phone won't let me be great.
we know, like with Tanya, she did have a nervous breakdown, and it was pretty bad. Um, I guess like seeing somebody go through it, it's kind of like giving birth and then watching somebody give birth. Like you can't understand it until you see it. I'm gonna say just from a perspective of a family member looking from the outside looking in, really scary. Um, and it's more the fact that me and my sister were like this. Obviously, we've done everything together. We got married together. We've been pregnant together. We lived together and lived back together. Like so, to see somebody like that, go through that, and then there's nothing that you can do, and there's like nothing that you can just anything with your background, your clinical training, no kind of uh recommendation. There's nothing you can do. It's probably just like the worst feeling I've ever felt before in life, to be helpless to somebody that obviously needed it.
Hmm.
But just like her having, I did have a nervous breakdown. It wasn't as bad as hers, but it was more of suppression that was going on around me. Like her dealing with it. Like a lot of the things that she said triggers it, but the tragedy, major change in life events. I went from 3 kids to having 6 kids. Finances blew up. I was already depressed. I've been depressed since like my third child. I had postpartum depression, and that never got
A
treated.
real
So
thing.
like real thing. So like she said, a lot of that stuff it just gets suppressed. That's why I'm like a major person for like maternity, postpartum maternity healthcare, mental health care, because the turnaround after that is ridiculous. Like you can't expect for somebody to go through something major like that and then turn around and like you want me to go back to work. So her and me are both the same. And it's a bad toxic trait with me and her. We suppress a lot of stuff because there's so much other stuff that's going on that I don't have time to sit down and decompress. I have children, I have school, I have a job. At the time I had a husband, I had a household. Like I just don't have time. I didn't have time to sit there like other people have and be like, oh well, I need to take a break. Like that's that's not realistic. Um, and it's just sad that that's just not even a thing that's advocated for people, because then when it's not advocated, when it's not taken care of, then you have people that have a mental breakdown, a nervous breakdown, and now you got to clean up all of the debris from that whole explosion, and it's nastier and messier than if you just would have tried to take care of it internally before it exploded externally.
Facts. And I will say that um time I've had a lot of time to one recover, and two I've had a lot of time to analyze myself and other people. And in recovering from, because I am still recovering, like quite recently, I have learned the power of the word no.
No.
I have learned the power of the word no. I have also learned the power of I don't feel like doing that and I'm not going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a lot of it is because I expect people to, I expect myself from people. And I feel like that's a bad expectation. And I think that that's a lot of the source of the stress that I was going through. So I feel like once you figure out what's stressing you out and you get rid of that, that is a very, very quick way to alleviate yourself or to prevent a nervous breakdown. And once you figure out what your triggers are and you figure out a way to, you know, exonerate that, then that's another thing that is going to prevent a nervous breakdown. And even if you've already had one, it's very again. And I think that I have had one before. I know for sure I had one when I
Yeah,
was
once
pregnant.
you have that first one, you
I
already
had,
know that like it's coming.
yeah, for sure I've had one with my youngest pregnant daughter. I mean my youngest daughter when I was pregnant with her. It wasn't severe as this, but I definitely now that I have realized what it was, I've definitely had one with her. And then having getting pregnant with my son and going through the same thing, it's just really this one set me on my butt. So at this point, it's just like to prevent that from happening. And they even noted some things that I want, like reducing your number of daily obligations,
Yeah.
taking a walk or adding some form of exercise to your routine, eating a healthy diet, taking a break when you need it, practicing.
Uh-oh. Cut off. She's like cut off again. It's like giving really good tips and stuff. Damn it, Tanya.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
She was giving good advice.
And that's what we
I don't
wanted.
even know what the segue to go. Like trigger. Well, she did talk about triggers and saying no. I had to learn that too in therapy. That part
My
right
phone
there.
is not letting me.
Like,
It's,
that's so hard. So hard for me to do.
I respect that. She said my phone's not letting me be great.
Are you on your Wi-Fi, Tanya?
Why aren't you on your Wi-Fi? Oh, okay. Oh, sorry, girl.
Man, Miss Tracy need to give you that Wi-Fi code.
There, I said you sound very low. I don't know if you.
can y'all hear me?
Yeah, you can hear you
Yes,
now.
we can now.
Okay, so what I was saying is practicing those good techniques. I don't feel like doing this, and don't do it. Or no, setting your boundaries and sticking to that. And a lot of people are gonna feel like you're acting funny. You're gonna get a lot of backlash. People gonna be trying to figure out why they were able to do this for so long, and now you're not letting them. They're gonna tell you. They're gonna tell you.
They're gonna tell you whatever.
You have to decide. I don't care what you think.
Oh, I can't tell you the amount of people I had to cut off.
Yes.
Okay.
And you have to.
Okay.
And you have to stand your ground of I don't care what you think. And if you're not bringing any type of peace or structure or stability or consistency,
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Matter. You know, and this it is what it is.
So I feel
Like once you put those things in perspective, it definitely prevents you from having a nervous breakdown. And if you've already had one, once you get those things lined up, it will definitely prevent you from having another one and definitely keep you on a straight and narrow from letting outside things in effect affect your peace and your sanity. Because at the end of the day, it's your life and a peace of mind is way more important than a new car. Straight up.
Yeah.
So
That's something I always try to tell people. You go.
No, I mean, my opinion about it is like this. Uh, Everybody not for everybody. Cool with that. I think other people won't be cool with that. Sometimes you need in life. Once I say a mental breakdown is a warning sign of already saying that okay, I'm letting go of the ghost and I can't deal with it anymore, and you restart. It's a reset button. But now since you had one, when you try to rebuild yourself, it's like you always have those you have the precautionary triggers that you know what your triggers are that's gonna pop you back onto being down spiral, as I like to say it is. You know when you're down spiraling, you have the precursor before you go there, so you know what to do before it happens again. So I always say like a good rule of thumb is like I guess it's like for me it's like to be nonchalant, because like not giving not it's not saying that I don't care about it. It's just I just choose to deal with it when I can deal with it. So when I deal with it, then I know where I'm at. Mind the clarity. Sometimes I just want to be by myself and just have a mindset right here. It's sit here and I write stuff down, like make a list of what I need to do during the week, and I deal with it and handle it when I need to deal with it and handle it, and I go from there. So however other thing, but it's good that you, when you know your triggers, you stay away from them. And sometimes, like you said, it kind of goes to hand in hand where you got to cut some people off because they become emotional leeches, and
Emotional burdens.
me too. No, it's leeches, bro. Burden is something that you can take off your like a set off. Leeches is they try to hang on as much as possible. They'll find any kind of angle to try to hang on, and you need to be able to know how to just go ahead, take it off, and throw it out to the side. Simply because if it's, I take the famous words of what somebody told me: if they're not for you, they're not going to be for you. They're not going to be for you during the bad times. They're not. Then they don't need to be there for the good times. So you need to like know how to. I always say segue into like being like, nah, I'm not doing it, or saying no. I have the same problem with saying no, but and that becomes a problem that I create because I was the creator of the situation by not saying no or whatever, and standing your ground. That's the point. Is like you saying no. Don't be sitting here and saying no and think about, damn, I should have said yeah. Man, fuck all that, bro. I said no. I said no because my mind is like you only get one of them. So I'm not gonna let somebody else be the downfall of what I need to do, throw you off track of what you need to do, and mentally you need to get back on track because you have more people riding for you that depend on you than the people who are holding you, who are down in that unnecessary weight. And majority are not even kids; these are grown ass motherfucking people. You gotta learn how to, it's called, it's like the Raid commercial. Raid! Yeah, you need to go ahead and put that bug bomb there and let the roaches get out, bro. So, I mean, at this point, you just gotta know when to hold them, when to fold them. And most times now, it's just like you're gonna have to fold more than you hold because you only need to hold your weight, not somebody else's, in the sense of really kind of encouraging you, trying to help you, good or bad situations, and knowing and understanding what you got going on. Because people think, oh, Tanya's back, so now I can go back doing regular Tanya annoying things to her, and that's not what the fact is. You're coming about a new refined, new rebuilt Tanya that has her own boundaries that she's setting for herself to protect her mindset. So that's like a great thing to do.
I have definitely learned this. I am not responsible for how you feel.
You damn right.
You cannot, I feel like people have that whole sense of you made me feel this way and you made me feel this way and
That sense
you
of
made me feel
entitlement
this
that came
way.
on for like the last 2
That
years, I
sense
really
of
don't get it.
I can make you do something that you don't want to do. And I feel like that is a very it's just not reality. I'm not responsible for what you do.
Oh no, it's
Regardless
it's
of what I
reality
say,
because
I'm
a
not
lot of people
responsible
can't
for what.
convince those people to do that stuff.
Yeah, but in reality, you're not responsible for somebody's actions. Period. No matter what you say or do, if they choose to react, that's their responsibility. And I
At
have
the end
gotten
of
to
the
a
day,
place.
that was you.
Yeah, that was you. You decided to react or you decided to do that. And you cannot put what your actions on other people. And I've also decided what has gotten me to a better place. Like today, I said no, and I don't feel bad about it. And I blocked a couple people today, and I don't feel bad about it. And I'm gonna keep a couple people blocked, and I don't feel bad about it. And I just don't. I'm getting to the place where if you hit my phone and we can't have no peaceful conversation, block. Period. Because I'm protecting my mental health. Period. And I don't care how nobody feel about it. I don't care how you feel or whatever your sense of entitlement is. I don't care anymore. You know, I heard somebody say I do what I want. And I feel like everybody do what they want to do. But when you grown and you mature, you do what you need to do, not what you want to do.
Yeah, I know. I was muted, but I said it's not more about what you want to do. It's what you
It's
need to do.
what you need to do. And so I feel like the people that are around me that are doing what they want to do, go do what you want to do over there. Don't come over here. Around here, we doing what we
Yeah.
need to do.
Once you figure it out, then you'll be over here with me in the need place.
Yeah. Now when you get tired of doing what you want and you like, I need to start doing what I need to do. Come on.
Come
Come
on.
on. But until you get that recollection, go do what you want over there. Do that over there. Right here, over here, we doing what we need to do around here.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that.
Yeah, I
Yana, I
agree.
feel like
Huh?
I said I felt like you had something to say.
Um, I mean, I feel something on that with the triggers and things like that. I kind of had and she could attest to it. I kind of had like a whole mental health pep talk with my family yesterday. And when I say my family, I mean like my siblings, my mom, and my cousins, because my cousins are like siblings to me more than cousins. And it's just one of those like reset conversations where she said you need to get rid of triggers. And triggers aren't necessarily like a action. It can sometimes be a person. And you know, sometimes if a person or a place is a trigger, you got to get rid of that, you know, because it's like going around and around on an endless crazy merry-go-round that you just can't get off of. Like it goes fast, then it goes slow, then it's fast, then it goes slow. And it's like we keep doing the same thing. Like something needs to change.
That's called
And
insanity.
insanity, yeah, absolutely. And so it's just like, you know, if the environment is a trigger, if the person's a trigger, if a place is, you got to get rid of that so you can be on the right track to do what you need to do and not have to constantly be around something that's going to set you back or take you to a place that took you so hard and so long to like even get out of. And so I really appreciate my family, like my sister and all of them, for just like giving me like a just like a mental health pep talk, you know. Um, because that helps. You really have to surround yourself with people that really truly care about you. You know, like, and when I say they care about you, like they gonna call and check up on you. They know what your triggers are. They're gonna be for you. They're not gonna do anything that's gonna make you go down that path to have another nervous breakdown. You know, like they're there for you. They're encouraging and stuff like that is just it's great to have. So you don't have that mental breakdown because having one is I tell you what.
I know I've been on mute for a little bit of this, and I was like, just know that I'm agreeing with you. I'm like, yeah, for sure.
So like I totally agree with her with that. With you know, you gotta like reorganize your house sometimes. And like she said, it's gonna make some people uncomfortable. Some people aren't gonna understand. Some people are gonna be mad at you. They're gonna have an attitude. But you gotta learn how to say no. You gotta learn how to say no. I don't
But
care.
nobody who wants to see you be great doesn't want you to change.
Oh yeah.
And you know,
I was gonna say that, like, if you find yourself with somebody and you have to tell them no, and then they look at you like crazy, or they even question that, they're not for you. Because if they were, it wouldn't even be a question why.
it wouldn't be a question. There'd be yeah.
And it's something that you have to find out. You know, sometimes some things come and they're like so normal that it almost seems like it's like okay, and then when you get outside of that environment to another environment and you realize like, dang, that's not a thing. That's not supposed to be that way.
Yeah, that's not healthy. That's not healthy. And I saw it. Like I knew something was off, but I couldn't leave your ass.
This is how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean that's part of my hiatus, or like, you know, just me like just getting myself together, just mentally, and settling somewhere and being around people and being in an environment where, you know, like I can thrive. And I just sometimes
for sure.
You got to take a leap off of faith sometimes.
Also, I gotta let you know, me and B gonna talk like mad shit about you while you going. I just want to let you know.
He do that.
We love you and we wish you were back, but also while you're gone, we just gonna talk a lot of shit. Like it's gonna be.
I watch, but I got stuff to do. Stuff that can't wait.
Oh, it's all good as long as you're ready for us to talk shit about you while you're gone.
That's the thing with mental breakdowns. Like it's just all that stuff that people just put off. It's like a volcano. So.
Oh no! I want to remind you that everything that we're saying is from love, but also you're not here, so you know I'm gonna talk crazy.
I wouldn't expect anything else.
As long as you know it's for me.
I don't know if Tanya gonna come back or not. She did. This was a great topic.
Oh no, we almost.
Yeah, we'll just talk about my topic. If Tanya comes back, we'll tell Linda or whatever. All right, so my topic was why your inner circle should stay small and how to shrink it. And that's my whole thing, is always keeping the circle tight. I know I have a lot of people. The circle. Great example of this topic is like doing, like, my mindset is like King Leonidas type thing on some 300. I don't need a small crew. I don't need too many people riding and jockeying. I need that's gonna be there towards the end or whatever. It's having a small crowd or a small group. It's easy to maintain information where leaks are, where things are going left. Because when you have so many people, that's too many times you got to backtrack. Got to find out who said what said who. I know what I said to who and what I said and how I said it. But then I can also repeat it again too. But it's also like knowing who's for you and who's not really for you. So really, truth and honest with you, it's one of those things that you need to like keep in mind, or whatever. And the benefits of keeping your circle small is stronger bonds, because the people that you have in your close circle, that you're gonna have stronger bonds to them, because it's almost like 15 people. Everybody knows over a period of time tells who sticks around and who doesn't stick around, or whatever. And knit friends kind of just keeps it easier to maintain and easier to have a communication with, because everybody got lives, they got kids, other things they got going on with themselves. but checking in on each other and having each other's back in best perspective. And it's really just for them, not trying to benefit off of themselves, off of what you can bring to the table, is what y'all can bring to each other is more important. This, the what you call it, the real friends, regardless of, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything, you know what I'm saying? And we know that childhood friendships don't last as long as adult friendships. You know what I mean? You can talk about how you have childhood friendships and you can't even look at the friends that you got, and none of them made the list. Not even the honorable mentions, because either you lose track of time or you just that bond is different when you grow up, and especially if you grow up and you're not in the same vicinity of them. Because the majority of everybody can say some of their childhood friends ain't never left them that zip code. You know what I'm saying? They trap themselves in that place, and that's all they know. So you can't really identify that when you've been gone so long. You don't register to that or whatever. So, and it's here too is it says a few people will only support you during your low moments. That's how you really know who's your friend and who's not your friend. Many times before in the past, when you had your parents had this conversation, I had this conversation, or not me, but I know my mom had a conversation with me and my sister. And my sister said, "You just mad because you ain't got no friends." And my mom was like, "Trust me, the people that you call your little friends, that ain't gonna be your friends. You give it 10 years, give it 5 years, shoot, give it a year. You'll start seeing some people drop off because some people are just not for you."
My mom has 2 best friends that they've been around for the last 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the ones that you can really hang on and kind of like just keep it tight and keep it real with one another. And definitely my deal is this right here. Why they're not your friends if they don't keep it real with you. You know what I'm saying? Regardless if you're doing something messed up, jacked up, they ain't here to tell you what you want to hear. They tell you what you need to hear because they care about you.
They're telling you facts.
Yeah, and then as you as a person, just tell me you don't. You know what I'm saying? So
and don't lose best friends because you wasn't ready to hear those facts. You knew what you was doing.
Exactly, and then it don't even matter what you do. It was wrong. That person should be that. I call it the checks and balances. If you don't have a check, you're not balanced. You know what I'm saying? Like you're unbalanced. You need somebody to sit there and tell you, man, you was right about that, but hey, man, or at a different perspective, because I always have somebody who I talk to.
Real friends will always give you that real perspective.
Yeah, it's true. And I always in giving advice and stuff like that. It's funny because sometimes I call it the barbershop talk. It's sometimes a necessity what other people go through and being like, man, hey, instead of approaching it like this, man, I'm telling you this from experience because I already been there, did what you did.
What did they say? They said, "Oh yeah, we cracking jokes about it, but this is a serious issue. You got to resolve it."
Yeah. We laugh about it, but it's not like we ain't laughing at you. We're just laughing with you because I've dealt with it. It's out of them like, wow, I'm gonna spread the knowledge because somebody should have spread the knowledge to me, so I'm gonna keep the knowledge moving forward. So it's more like, hey, how about you approach it like this instead of approaching it like that? Have you ever thought about that? And then sometimes I call it a soundboard. I always tell people, I always try to talk to other people, because I know myself, and like you never want to have a conversation with somebody, and when you were at 10, you want to wait till you're at 4 or 5, you're below 5 to have that conversation with them and stay at that level, not be able to elevate your self, your blood pressure, anything to that scenario, and stick to your guns and don't allow yourself to get overwhelmed about this conversation. And bouncing off the soundboard with somebody is being like, man, I would say it like this. I wouldn't say it that way. I would say it like this. And having that soundboard keeps you from sticking your foot in your mouth. You know what I'm saying? And like sometimes less is more, because you can kind of get a reduction of the conversation from that person, from your good close friend, to say, hey man, you can cut out that fat, trim that off, let's get to the essence of the problem. If this is the essence of the problem, trim the fat off and just get to the nitty gritty or whatever, because you're giving me appetizers. Let's get the main course. You know what I'm saying? And then also go ahead, Kevin.
Oh no, I was saying like to keep the circle small and everything. A lot of people like us, or I mean, just the cool people. They don't have to keep the circle small because like it's only a small portion of people who understand this realness and understand the knowledge that you're giving and be like, well, I know that this is just knowledge that you're giving me.
Yeah, everybody's not built for it either. So everybody.
Oh yeah, that's why I said it's like it's a small majority of us, and I said, I mean, we're cool with each other at the
right.
because anybody else.
And this kind of segues like into the other one is you can't trust everyone with your secrets. When I say that is, you got real friends, you got good friends, and you got associates. Them associates ain't the ones you go and have your confidant conversations with. Those are the ones you just like. Them associates 9 times out of 10 they don't even become even a factor to me because they usually are just associated with somebody else. So I don't really I'm only cool with you because we with the same person. If we were off by ourselves, I would never probably hang out with you in life, or maybe not be with you around there. Yeah,
I recently found out about this, and I was like, "Yo, I can't just tell you anything because you're gonna go and tell everybody else."
Mm-hmm.
So I would say,
can't hold water.
Yeah, and he's like, "No, you can tell me anything." I was like, "No, because this has already been proven. I'm not hanging out with you no more."
Yeah, and that's the where I just like I have like a number of like really close friends probably on one hand. When I say that is like I could be able to call them and get some advice from them, or be able to. I have mentors too that kind of like I always say like if I had an echelon of like people, you got your mentors, you got your friends, and like the mentors is the ones who've done it. They know how to do it. They can give you like a older perspective or a better perspective of certain subjects and topics, not everything. You have your go-to people. Like certain things, everybody's not. That's it. Some things, some people are not.
No, it wasn't for the camera.
Okay, so yeah, but yeah, just everybody can't be your friend, and everybody can't be in your circle, and everybody can't know what's going on in your circle because that's how you protect yourself and the people in your circle at the same time. Because you got people that I call it. They sharks, they vultures, they run around your circle and they want to know what's going on in there. But you got to keep your circle tight. No information comes in and out.
You don't know how many people like I was like, you're not meeting my friends. I don't with you like that. You're not meeting my friends because this is my this is my squad.
But you have to have your own stuff. Like you can't share everything with everybody. You got to have your own friends. That's why they're your friends. I might not gel with your friends because that's you and your friends. You know what I'm saying? But you just got to understand that everybody might not gel. With each other like that. So.
You weirdly got to hang out with me, which I know. That like hanging out with me is like a whole event. If you can't hang out with me, you're definitely not gonna meet my friends.
Yeah, exactly. And it is, and people but that's the great thing about having different friends is like everybody doesn't do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I have friends that are more outgoing and they go out and do stuff. I have friends that are more reserved and we sit and chill and and kick back. You know what I'm saying? And we go to a lounge or something and we'll just kick back and do something like that. You got a different type of people.
It's like you got friends that go on a hike and you got friends that just want to chill at home.
Exactly. Yeah. So you got it's kind of like for what spurs your event or whatever. But the last one is how to shrink your inner circle. So one of them is self-assessment. You know what I mean? You have to kind of self-evaluate who's for you, who's not for you. Kind of see if certain people are causing problems in your circle You know what I'm saying? Like, most people I deal with, they don't even deal with social media like that. They ain't
Jana,
even
I
on it
feel
like
like
that.
you have something to say.
I'm just listening.
And then another thing is like, it's almost like you seeing people like and another thing is like you're not gonna be able everybody's gonna be able to spend time with each other, but you can not talk to each other for a long time. And I know people that I can talk to them today and won't talk to them for another 2 months, and we can pick right back off where we left off at. And that's how you know that connection is a true,
That's how
genuine
you know that's
connection.
a good friend. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, and then you got to assess habits and activities. You know what I mean? Like, what they doing, how they moving, how you, and the same for yourself too. And then, like, the last one is, the next one is assessing the people in your circle of friends. This is where I tell you that you don't you sometimes you can't intertwine certain people because you got to be like, all right, I got my best friends, and then I got some people that are my friends, and then that's it. Everybody else is kind of associate. So kind of like knowing how to level, like how to drop the toxic friendships. If your person that brings is in your friendship is toxic, and you wonder why it's messy and toxic, then you need to know when to hold them, when to fold them, and knowing how to, and that comes with setting boundaries. You know what I'm saying? So like,
I can tell you, I said I normally know how to like or who's an actual friend and like who's we're gonna hang out with in the future and everything. But I said one of the big things is like family and everything. Because you have your family who you're a part of, and then you have the selected family who you're like, yo, this is the people I fuck with. And I really don't know or how to get rid of somebody who's in the family. You know, they're in the family. I can't get rid of them, but we're just hanging out because you're in the family.
yeah. I mean, me for that is most of them get cut out anyway because they cut themselves out because some people, you know how it is. You have
Oh,
a,
it was my fault to bring up Burgess. Last week he was talking about how he got rid of his father in the family business.
oh,
Why?
but But you already know how it is. Some people you just can't do business with. You know what I'm saying? But that's just knowing people's scope of what they can and what they can't do. You just got to know how to cut them off too. And that's sometimes that's for the best because to get some peace, you got to cut them off because they don't bring nothing but BS, and it's the same BS. And like people don't too much change; they keep the same. They only change when they get put on the spot, maybe, and the peer pressure. But any other way, they'd be stick the same what they do. So like for family, the family is like one of those things that you always have to know when to hold them, when to fold them, and or whatever. And once you kind of stand your ground, then that's what it is. After that, you're looking for the smoke. You know what I'm saying? So if I told you about yourself and told you to stay out of my business, and you steadily still keeping in my business, then if I go over and say, let's go outside and shoot the fade, don't sit there and get stupid and being like, oh man, I'm just playing. You can't take a joke, but you'll say, well, I guess you can't take an ass whooping either. So keep your mouth closed. So sometimes it's best to know when to hold them, when to fold them, and some people don't know how to do that. So sometimes it's like on Charlie Murphy. Sometimes I gotta, it's like I gotta check them. You know what I mean? Every time, you gotta keep checking some people because they think that you're playing. But that's family. Friends, if they doing that, they ain't, you can cut them. You can't cut your
Yeah,
family.
you can cut your friends, but the family is the part that I'm asking about. And you're just
You
like,
can cut.
no, when you know.
No, you can cut your family. They're not
Yep.
exempt. They're not exempt. If they keep up BS, if they are negative, if they bring no substance, if it's always some shit, if you always been on the same thing, if you don't forever be on the same thing, if you don't bring nothing to the table, I don't care if you my mama and you were 30 hours of labor with me. If you don't bring me no peace, if you're nothing but negative, I can cut you off. Respectfully cut you off. Because you're still my mama. But I can respectfully cut you off. I done cut
I
off
think
cousins. I done cut off siblings.
Respectfully.
Respectfully. I can
yeah.
see at the family function and be like, "Hey, Jane," and go on by my business. Jane, don't come
What
over here.
and how you really know people cut off is when they get to a point where they don't start coming. They don't start getting the invites to these functions. Everybody's talking like, yeah. I was just over your house like the other day, Ricky, 2 Saturdays ago, and they like, shoot, what did y'all do 2 Saturdays ago? Oh, we had a
Oh,
cookout. Yeah, we just had a cookout. If they ain't gonna
okay.
be bold enough to say why you didn't invite me, then we'll go down this whole matrix of why you didn't get invited. You obviously know the reason why didn't get invited. You know what I'm saying? Because you have family members who always stir up the pot of BS, and that's all they do, and that's why
Oh,
they get
yeah,
left out
for
of stuff.
sure, for sure. And my granddad got to beat him up. It's like a whole thing. Oh no! One of the things that you said a couple weeks ago, I don't know if you remember this, but it always resonates with me. It said that not talking ill of the dead is how trauma gets passed down.
That's true.
And
It's true. It's what he was saying, like with family and friends situation, knowing how to make your circle small. Um, it's some people that they're gonna be on what they own, and sometimes those are the people that they have a reason why they like this. I can't gel with people that are nasty and they have a reasoning behind why they nasty. That's even more nastier. Like it's bad, but oh, this is what I saw. This is how my auntie dealt with it. This is how my nana dealt with it, and that's how I'm gonna deal with it.
no, I mean
Okay,
it's why I agree with you is because I said we're not talking about this guy. He did all this crazy shit. We're not talking about him because he's dead. And I was like, that shit, no. I said
no,
that wasn't acceptable for him. It's not acceptable for you
no.
either.
So, and that's part of where people be like, well, you can't. Your family's all you got. Okay. Like, all right.
And I mean, there are some families, there have been people in the past that was like, oh, no, he used to do this. He died. Oh, so you just going to pick up the mantle and just keep going.
Pick up the torch. Just keep it going. I'm like, okay, well, all right.
No, but we can't talk ill about the dead. That's
I think with friends, so I've learned that there are two type of friends. There are people that are conditional friends, and then there are people that are unconditional friends. And all the traits that Brandon was talking about with friends, those are good traits of those unconditional friends. I think we all know what conditional friends are. Those are those friends that are, those seasonal friends. They're only there for sometimes what you can offer them, what they can pick up from you. Um, they're there in passing. They're they're like more of like an associate. And I think sometimes with life and changes and stuff, life changes, things that you go through in life, the conditional, unconditional friends, those get confused. Um, and so when you do go through something, you do realize, like, okay, so I thought they were my friend. I thought they were, I thought we were cool. Um, but as it turns out, they just not. They just was here just to say that they were here. They didn't even have a reason for being here. And shit got tough, kitchen got hot, and they done flew away like a bird going down south
and
wind.
when it gets tough, they just out of there. They said, I don't want any parts of it.
They only come back. They come back when you're on the up and up. So like, even me personally, all the people that were like went away when the times when I really needed them, now they're like reemerging, and it's like, dang, I ain't heard from you in like a couple years. Well, if you ain't heard from me in a couple years, that means you ain't my friend.
Well,
Like
I say for me, I always be like, well, you ain't heard from me in a couple years. I've been hitting your ass up this whole time.
not even that. Like it's just like with a friendship, like with me, prime example, I got 3 best friends. I have a best friend that lives here in Texas. I have a best friend that lives in Georgia, and I have a best friend that lives in South Carolina. And Brandon knows them. I have been friends with my best friend, and she likes to say this, but she liked to say it when me and Brandon were married. I've known you longer than you've known him. That's how long I've known her, and she has never changed up. It does not matter where we've been. It doesn't matter if I've been right, if I've been wrong. I've been wrong in so many situations, and I have to listen to her tell me I am wrong. But that's a friend. I don't need somebody that's gonna be like, "Yeah, girl," and you need to, and you tell them, and we gonna no, like that's not a friend. That's a I don't even know what that is. That's like a
That's another critic.
right. So nah, you just go through something. That's what I'll say. Go through something. It'll weed out who's for real, who's really there. Go through something.
For sure. All right, B. You want to wrap it up?
Yeah. Yeah, this is I appreciate everybody coming on here today, giving their piece, kind of wrapping up the mental health awareness month, kind of like getting a full circle perspective of what we were talking about. It's really like I just don't let I always say it's not a month is not enough to discuss over a topic. It's just a reminder to like don't forget. You know what I'm saying? And you should always keep in tune and keep in tune with oneself and keep in tune with your circle around you about your what you actually need what your needs need to be fulfilled. And then also at the same time you need to also always just have somebody to go to, you know what I'm saying, and you always have somebody to talk to about your problems, psychologist, psychiatrist, therapist, best friend, somebody you can know that you can
Or
keep
just
that
call
keep
me.
you gonna be Tyler, call me if you get lost.
Oh yeah, they will be
Yeah,
very upset with the answers that they get, but you can call me.
yeah. I think sometimes the best thing is sometimes is also being available. You know what I'm saying? Just like accessibility is availability. Just try to be available for people, uh, whatever they're going through, or whatever. Just like let them be just be a soundboard. And I always tell people like if you're trying to help, if you're trying to be a friend, sometimes less is more. When I say less is more, like talk less and listen more. You know what I'm saying? And that's just like if somebody called and come to you, I'm not gonna give you my sad sob story into the let me interlude into like what my problems are. That's not what they called you for. They called you about their issue and their problem that they're trying to solve. But also the person who's given the problems and issues be able to reciprocate it back when that person calls you. You know what I'm saying? It's all about being fair about listen more and talk less and listen more. So like it's just kind of like, and it's like a application that it's an ongoing application even for myself, just like less is more, and just like all right, just listen and then like be able to like kind of go with that, because 9 times out of 10 what I learned is they're probably going to say what you were going to say anyway. So it's just best for you to just be quiet. And I did it in a meeting before, and she was like, "Why you didn't comment on something? Less is more." That person was. If I were to interrupt, it would have messed up the interlude with what somebody else was about to say. Because I kind of, you feel a vibe in the conversation. You see somebody, oh, he's gonna talk about it in a minute. What am I gonna talk about it for? If he missed something that I want to add in, I can just add in a couple sentences, not a whole paragraph. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, for sure.
all right, man. So you don't have anything else?
No, man, I did my portion. Uh,
You played your part.
You can play a part. Oh, prayers for all the families that lost their children in the shooting this past week?
Did not want to talk about it. That was my one stipulation. Come on, Yana.
I mean, you have to say like thoughts and prayers, man. It's sad. I live here in Texas. It's sad.
Yeah, nobody has planned when they wake up in the morning that, I ain't planning to look at my kid go out the door and then not come back going through that door. You know what I'm saying? I didn't, and that's what I get mad about is I didn't send my kids to go get messed with or shot or tampered with. You know what I'm saying? Like if that's the case, I'll leave them at home and I know exactly where they're gonna be at.
Talk about it. Not gonna go off about it.
But I'm just saying, like in a sense of
I feel a way about it, especially as like a teacher, and they would.
But now it's like
I don't want to.
No, but see, yeah, but see about it is Kevin is now it's like, when police say, "Well, we got the hardest job in the world." No, teachers do now. They already toppled you. They already beat you already.
Now they got you beat. Sucked in. I am not going to get sucked into this conversation.
Thoughts and prayers. All we said was thoughts and prayers. That's it. It's like when you go to church and they say God bless you.
Thoughts and prayers. That's fair. But also, B is over here trying to get me sucked into. Oh yeah, the teachers were supposed to be protecting these. I don't want to talk about it.
I didn't say that. I said when they say police officers say that they have a hardest job in the world.
I don't want to talk about it. I'm not even.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Teachers are a key essential to society. That's always. I've been said that.
Hour and 40 minutes, you guys. Hour and 40 minutes.
I don't want to talk about it, Yana. I don't want to talk about it. That's just. Oh, I have so many. But I don't want to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I tried. Anyway,
yeah, you almost got me.
Yeah, I almost got you. I feel like that guy on the insurance commercial with the dollar on the fishing line. Oh, almost got it. But we're gonna go ahead and end this episode. This Play Your Part podcast.